Here we go. It's Friday. It's Nintendo News Daily. Of course, if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. You guys know all the things. If you're listening on Spotify, of course, you can leave comments if you want to be a part of the conversation that way. And we are live. I'm shooting for 3 o'clock. I've had meetings that have interfered, so we're a little bit late once again, but we are here. Um, I'm seeing comments saying like, "Yo, the audio is a little bit out of sync." Like it usually cleans up really quick. I'm honestly about this close to walking away from the website that I'm using because like I need this stuff to look amazing. So uh we'll see what happens. But if you are seeing that kind of stuff on the video, do let me know. I am trying to go back and watch this stuff, but what I'm seeing and what I'm downloading may be different than what you guys are seeing. So if it is a little bit rough, please let me know. And with that, we're going to hit the intro. Speaking of the intro, when I go back and rewatch this, it's done me dirty multiple times. It stops and I'm just sitting here staring at the camera because on my end, I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing the intro, I'm hearing it, but you guys just get to see me staring at the screen, like at the camera, waiting for it to start. So good times there. Cece, what is going on? Welcome on in. So good to see you. I see we got quite a few people here already. So welcome in, everybody. We're gonna jump into the news bit, and then our topic for today is: did it just do it, Cece? Did it just do it? Was I just staring and nothing was happening? Because the other fun part about that is my mic is muted, so I can't. You would just see me going like it's so frustrating, so frustrating. Like what? So it was actually fine this time. Okay, that's good. Well, it did me dirty yesterday because when I went back to upload it to the podcast players, I was like, okay, you're expecting it to do it, but it didn't. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad because yeah, I was not happy with that. That is for sure. So we are going to jump into this here. We got a few little news bites. The first one, honestly, we're gonna have some fun with. So this is from Nintendo Life. It says random. Oh no. Oh no. You can buy a life-size, I don't know how to say this name. Gardevoir, I guess. Plush from the Pokemon Center. Update now available in North America. Now available in North America. You're hoping for Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay. So when we get to the last section, Rally fan, make sure to keep all those hopes and dreams ready to go, because we're gonna talk about all of it. First thing we're gonna do is get through just a little bit of news here, and then we'll talk about our hopes and dreams for Switch 2. So I love the fact that they say oh no, because like they're just thinking like, what is gonna happen when a life-size Pokemon that's you know like this gets into the hands of the people. And it honestly, it just makes me laugh, the fact that they say oh no. So update: if you really want your life-size Gardevoir plush and you want to save yourself shipping fees, you're in luck. Pokemon Center Online in North America has opened pre-orders for the doll. The 63-inch plush will set you back a rather pricey $450. Okay. So that's considerably more expensive than the Japanese release, but we imagine the shipping charges will bring the Japanese price up a little bit more. So this life-size Pokemon is expected to ship in July of 2025. So if you would like your own life-size Pokemon, you know, you now have the opportunity for just the small price of 490 or 449.99, it too can be yours. So that's crazy. That is something else. And the headline is honestly the only reason we're here looking at this, because it just made me laugh. So this is kind of just a random post from Nintendo Life here. And it says someone tried to fix Zelda Echoes of Wisdom's awful UI. And so it looks like there's a video. I'm gonna let this thing play. We got to just get through the ad here real quick, and then we'll be taking a look at it. But let's see. So almost a 25-minute video. We aren't going to hang out too long. Let's see if we can just kind of get. I'm going to kind of scrub through a little bit. Here we go. So here's the cross media bar is what they're calling this one. And they may have given us another ad. I don't know why we're seeing PS3 right now. Oh, okay. They're just giving us an example. That's why I was like, what is happening? I don't have the volume on, so you still gotta get Echoes of Wisdom before Switch 2 release. Do it. It's so good. So good. So okay, so they're showing like the PS3 menu, and yeah, that's not a bad way of doing this. That's not a bad way at all. Like, let's take a look what it looks like in game here. So basically it's just kind of, oh yeah, puts all the birds together. That would have helped. That would have helped for sure. I like that. Taking a look. Oh, we do have another ad we got to get through. 2 seconds, 1 second. Here we go. Skip. So I don't know. I found like I constantly use mostly the same echoes. So it wasn't like a huge deal for me, but maybe I would have used more if the menu had been more intuitive, but like I saw a lot of people getting so bent out of shape over it that I was like, it's not that big a deal to me, honestly. Like, it didn't bother me all that much. But sometimes the internet's just looking for things to be upset about. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like there's ways they could have improved it, and just little quality of life, I guess. But I didn't feel like it hindered all that much for me. But I don't know. Chat, anybody else feel like Echoes of Wisdom menu, like, did it hinder your enjoyment of it? I don't even know if anybody in here has played it, but it really didn't hinder all that much for me. And apparently, like, if you go through the whole video, they also do like this style right here, which is like kind of the circle, kind of like they do in. Don't they have something similar to this in like Animal Crossing? Right, so you can kind of put your favorites and go through the circle. I think that's the case. It's been a minute since I've been in there, so that would have been all right too. I think there's a bit of improvement there that wouldn't have been terrible. And it looks like you got games. I know for a fact because I was in Mario Maker not that long ago. Yeah, so Mario Maker has a similar layout for when you're building, so this exact menu probably would have been a little more. There would probably been less complaints if it had been like that, honestly. I think that probably would have kept everybody happy, just a maybe a little more thought going into it is all. But how cool to see somebody go in and try to customize it. So pretty good layout for Mario Maker 2. Yes, Rally fan. Exactly. Well, here's kind of a bit of meat and potatoes. I've been seeing a lot of Nintendo YouTubers talking about this, and it's Nintendo's latest patent hints at Joy-Con mouse support for OG Switch. Plus, another mysterious controller is included. So the article reads, a new patent from Nintendo was recently made public, which seems to confirm that, yes, the upcoming Switch 2 will indeed feature mouse support. However, upon digging into the patent a bit more, we discovered a couple additional nuggets that might be of some interest. Namely, that Nintendo has showcased what looks to be a Joy-Con for the original Switch with the additional optical sensor on the side, alongside that extra C button below the home button. By the way, don't ask us why it's missing on the left image below. It's easily missed because they look so similar at first glance. But putting two images of the Switch 2 Joy-Con and the original Joy-Con side by side, you can see that the latter sports the original rail system for the Switch, not the new magnetic system boasted by the successor. So, kind of taking a look at just some of the pictures here, and yeah, they do have both the old and the new Joy-Con here. So, and it's looking like, I think that sensor is this like 770 and 774, if I'm looking at, yeah, there we go. So see the difference? It's worth pointing out that reference 774 in figure 36 is specifically described as a mouse operation sensor. Now, it's likely that Nintendo is simply covering all the bases with its patent, and we think it's probably unlikely that the company will come out with new Joy-Con controllers for a console nearly in its 9th year. However, slim, mind you, it is still a possibility, and a wild one at that. The other thing we noticed is that it looks to be a completely different controller utilizing the mouse functionality. It could well be that this is merely a prototype design to showcase the technology, but we think it's interesting that Nintendo would go out of its way to include it in the document. Furthermore, Nintendo refers to the new Switch 2 Joy-Con as the first embodiment of the input device, the mysterious new controller as the second embodiment, and the original rail system Joy-Con as the third embodiment, suggesting that yes, these are indeed separate devices. So if you're looking at the video here, like this is very interesting to me, because I've been saying all along that I really think, we're gonna see like more like a mouse from Nintendo, not just the like. It's almost like the example of like the regular Joy-Con when you put them in the grip and you can have a controller. It's great, but it's still, you got the short throw of the Joy-Con sticks, and it's not completely ideal, right? And the mouse functionality in the new Joy-Con, it's cool. Like, it can work. It even doing multiplayer with, split Joy-Con where you're holding the Joy-Con sideways, not ideal, right? Especially if you have like bigger hands. They're really tiny. Not ideal, but they worked, right? That's how I'm kind of looking at the mouse functionality in the new Joy-Con. It's like, it's not going to be the ideal. Like, Joy-Con are narrow, right? Holding that for a long period of time, I imagine, is not going to be comfortable on your wrist. But then you see this other patent here. Now, I watched some other videos like Sunbro and Nintendo Prime. They were talking about this, and their thoughts, they really seem to think that like this is just an example of what it, could look like, not what we're actually seeing. But when I was watching those videos, I didn't see the second photo here that shows a hand on that controller. Now, what I find interesting is you're still going to need a flat surface for this. And so that is what I find so intriguing, because it's like, why are we focused on this direction with Switch 2? Like, what should we expect? It really makes me wonder what Nintendo has up their sleeves, essentially, because this is so different than anything we've really ever seen. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, healthy Nintendo means weird Nintendo. You guys have heard me say that forever. Like, I think those are all good things. The only thing I always get nervous about is leaning too far into the gimmick, and then we're forced to use these gimmicks. And I never want that to be the case, right? Like, I don't want to race Mario Kart with my mouse. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. So I see Nady Nay is here. What is going on? Welcome on in. But when I look at this kind of stuff, I do want like these controllers, and I know if you're only listening to the audio version, it's like they're kind of like a Joy-Con, but almost like a little bit of an L shape, and they kind of like the way it's working is like you're pressing the main button with your index finger while using your thumb for some face buttons and what looks like an analog stick of some kind. And I'm wondering, just based on this picture, if this isn't more like the Circle Pad Pro from the 3DS. So I see Lion's reaction is here. What's going on? The Rally fan says the mouse would be good for strategy games. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot that they can do with a mouse. Don't get me wrong. Nate says then it turns me off like the Wii. I get it. I get it. And I mean, I'm still pro Wii games on NSO, and sell us a Wii remote, because I would just love that option. Honestly, to bowl with the Wii remote was chef's kiss. We may not have known it at the time, but we know it now. That's for sure. So, but these controllers, very interesting. Also very interesting. There is a left and a right. And so are we gonna see games that potentially run like where you use two mice, one in each hand? Is this just for left-handed players? Like, I'm so curious. I'm so curious. So digging back into the article here, it says, as we mentioned earlier, it's entirely possible that nothing comes of these images, that Nintendo is simply making sure it's covering all of its possible bases. It's fascinating, however, that the company is looking into viability of mouse support on the original Switch. We can't imagine it would be comfortable. Mind you, those things are way too small. And like we said, like even these bigger Joy-Con as a mouse, I just, long periods of time, like give me an actual mouse. That's gonna be more comfortable. Because I also feel like will they could they tip easy? Is that gonna be an issue? I know that might sound a little bit weird asking, but like it's just I don't know. It seems so strange. I'm grabbing a Joy-Con right now. And I mean, I guess it's not as bad. I don't know how many of you guys have done this. Have you tested out your regular Joy-Con on their side? Like, it's actually not too bad. Um, it's not too bad at all, but still just so strange. So strange. But again, coming to games like, Mario Maker 3, or like Rally Fan was saying, strategy games, that kind of stuff. So much opportunity there, for precision. And then even getting into like first person shooter. But this is not very this is not very handheld friendly in my mind. It's also not very living room friendly in my mind. This is like set up for people with setups, if that makes sense. I mean, chat, how many of you guys have a flat surface near where you typically play? I'm just curious, like, will you use the mouse functionality? And you guys, if you're watching after the fact, leave a comment, like, will you use mouse functionality? And is Nintendo gonna sell, like, are they gonna start selling like like a TV tray from back in the day, where you can have a flat surface and um play with the mouse that way? Like, I'm trying to like I'm trying, remember how, like, the Wii remote and the nunchuck, I've got one in each hand right now. Like, imagine controlling, and I'm just using my thigh for I'm moving the left stick, but then just have the other Joy-Con on my thigh. Like, that's not really ideal. Like, that it's not really ideal at all. So I'm so curious on what we're gonna see here. I am of the mind that Nintendo is going to go hard on accessories this time around. Like, I think I jokingly put up a pad con, which would be like a mouse pad Joy-Con, and would not surprise me in the slightest if if they did something like that, right? Like, can you imagine playing your Switch handheld? You're holding it with your left hand, and then the Joy-Con is actually um, going away from you and flat, so you're almost like you're like a fishing pole, like where you're reeling in a fish kind of thing, but you're playing with the mouse on the side. Like I'm so confused because this just not just it doesn't seem very pro handheld. That's all I'm thinking about. Like, but who knows? Like, who knows? Um, Rally fan says mouse pads. Maybe special surface ones. Uh, Not sure if regular mouse pad would work. Right. I'm just thinking a flat, like something. Who know? Mario Paint is coming back, you guys. The whole reason for this is so that we can get Mario Paint on NSO. That's it. That's it. Nate says I'd use it for Mario Maker and strategy stuff. Oh yeah, first person shooters with the skinny thing on its side. I mean, I'm doing it right now, and I mean it's not bad. It it's not bad, but again, I'm sitting at a setup. I'm at my desk. So that's why it's not that bad. You know what I mean? So I see Rayman is here. What's going on? Welcome on in. CC says, yeah, probably wouldn't use a mouse. I think my gut feeling is there's gonna be games that this will make perfect sense, and we will gladly use it. I want to see what those games are. I want to see how they play, and I'm here for it. I'm just ready to understand more. And this like drip feed of staring at patents and the short teaser trailer that we got, like I'm ready for more. um I'm ready for more just so we can understand it. So taking a quick look here, mouse function, that's from Rally fan. Mouse function could be special genre or special case use. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I mean it's Nintendo. I trust them, right? Like I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. I'm very interested to know more. I'm very interested to know more. So, Nadia asks, "Hi, would you recommend the Nintendo Switch Lite in 2025?" Two, because I doubt you're going to release a light version, probably like 2026. But like, yeah, that's probably when you're going to release it. So it it honestly is always going to boil down to what you're planning on playing. How long have you been playing Switch? Do you plan like are you looking to have a console next to your bed? Do you have a big backlog? There's a lot of questions that I would need to know before I could just say do it. I love my Switch Lite. If there's a few reasons I would say absolutely get it. If you've got people that maybe you've got a significant other or a child or a brother, sister, whatever the case may be. If you have an extra Switch and somebody comes over, it gives you the opportunity to game together. It is a much smaller form system, so playing on the bus, playing on the train, whatever, however you're, whatever traveling you might have to do, it is. It is a great option as far as that goes. Just keep in mind, like if what are your favorite genres of games? Like, what are you typically playing the most? I know if there's games like Mario Party where there's a lot of motion and stuff like that, then you're not gonna be doing it on the Switch Lite. If it's your only Switch, I'm not sure I would like unless you know exactly the kind of games you want to play. Like if it's just Mario, just Zelda, those are like Pokemon, that kind of stuff. But if you are wanting to do like Switch Sports or Mario Party, like to be able to do everything, and you want to do motion stuff, just keep that in mind. So um, you're thinking about buying it for road trips and stuff. Yeah, it's a great option, and honestly, it's a great console to just keep by your bed as well. So Dash says, Josh, I think even if it's not handheld friendly, Nintendo will probably think it's worth it to have because there will be workarounds with it and also make tabletop mode very, very appealing. And I agree. I do agree. I think tabletop mode, based on the fact that like the kickstand shows this thing almost sitting flat, but like not flat. I'm 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 curious on if that's kind of what they're going to lean into a bit, right? So that makes me think that there's more possibilities for games like that. Now that being said, remember, I think this is kind of forgotten, but Super Mario Party Jamboree had a mode that not many people got to play, and that's where you put switches together in tabletop and then build your boards. And I'm wondering if they're gonna lean a bit more into tabletop. Because imagine, if you will, and we're just gonna go down speculation lane for a second, but, um, imagine playing a four-player version of chess or checkers even, right? Where you've got 2 switches on each side, all pushed together, and that makes the board up. And then now you're just using your mouse con, if you will, or whatever, to move your pieces and play that game. Or maybe it's there's like some strategy games involved, or maybe even it's something even like Battleship, right? Like the board game, but you don't want your opponent to see. But so I mean, and I'm again completely spitballing just off the top of my head, and wondering if that's not going to be a little bit more of how they want us to play. I mean, again, like Splatoon, is that like how many people we already have motion? That makes it pretty accurate. So is that is the mouse going to make it that much more accurate? I'm not quite sure. The other thing is there's a lot of, I mean, there's people that play a lot of these modern games with mouse and keyboard. Like a lot of the biggest games, I would say, are on mouse and keyboard. I think looking at like Pokemon Unite, right? Kind of being a League of Legends clone. Like the mouse is a perfect way to play, just like it is on League of Legends, right? So I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what everything that is going to be involved with what they're going to be showing us, but I'm excited. I use mouse and keyboard for Factorio docked on the Switch. Yeah, yeah. So, and that's a pretty fun game. I played that a little bit. So, I am curious on just what what they have up their sleeve, right? There's something that's potentially going to be pretty exciting. And you got to remember, guys, we're talking about the company that gave us Cardboard VR, right? So we know that they are not above thinking outside the box, doing some things that are different. And the Switch was the first time in a long time that Nintendo was really like, "Yo, let's do something different that really, really paid off," right? Like really, really paid off. The Wii was something different. It paid off, but it didn't really pay off for gamers as much as it did for the casual audience. Like there are retirement homes that have stockpiles of Wii because it would allow their patients and whatnot to get more active just by playing Wii. And so there's there was a much different audience there. What like I'm just again so like you got to remember that Nintendo's always trying to reach a bigger audience. They always want to reach a bigger audience. So what's their play here? You got games like Civilization making their way, and maybe there's some more indies that would do well. Who knows? Maybe League is coming to Switch. maybe maybe that's a factor in all of this. I don't know, but that could be the case. So, uh, really, really interesting stuff. Really, like again, so curious on what this is going to mean for the future of Switch 2 and the way we play games. And again, we'll move on to the next topic with this, but I just don't want to see this shtick, right? This gimmick be something that's really really forced on us because it would not be fun. That being said, the inclusion of a mouse like this makes DS games much easier to play, especially if they were, if you were touching um, with a stylus. This is very similar play style to that. So, uh, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, all those kind of games that Nintendogs, right? I know there's some Nintendog fans in the chat. I know it. I have no doubt about it. So, um, there's a lot that the mouse will be able to do just with DS and 3DS games. So a lot to be excited about, honestly. Like a lot to be excited about, and I can't wait for it. So next up, we have Metroid Chronicles of the Wolf, and it takes a few cues from Castlevania. So there's an announcement trailer. I'm going to go ahead and just play this real quick. We can take a peek at it here. The article says publisher P-Cube and Pixel Heart, alongside developer Megami Games, have revealed that their new Metroidvania, Chronicles of the Wolf, will be launching on Switch this summer. This one looks like it will appeal specifically to Castlevania fans and seems to be taking quite a few cues from Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. You've got day and night cycles, merchants, allies, and of course, lots of beasts to slay. And just looking at the art style and everything, I gotta say, like, it looks pretty good. Like it looks pretty good. So if you are a fan of classic Castlevania games, this may be one that you want to keep on your radar. And again, that's Chronicles of the Wolf. So, and just a handful of screenshots and stuff. It looks like really, really good pixel art, like really good pixel art. So, definitely something worth checking out in the indie department there. So that's gonna do it for our news bit. But let's talk about your dreams, your hopes and dreams when it comes to Switch 2, right? Like this can be anything from the games that you're hoping are coming out sooner than later. What about the Miiverse? I personally, just to kind of kick it off, would really love to see Street Pass come back. Like I just finished up my puzzles in Street Pass at PAX West last year. Loved that kind of thing. It's just such a fun way for the community to interact together. And so any hopes and dreams that you guys might have, let me know in the chat. Like, just so Rally Fan says Miiverse 2 would be great. Like any thoughts on what that would look like for you and and what you would like to see from it. I'm also seeing the mouse function will be big for Mario Maker 2 and in the future 3. And I mean, Mario Maker is a game that is a like high on my wish list. It is high on my wish list. Like I want to I want to see the next game succeed in ways that the second game didn't, right? I felt like the community fell off kind of quick. I think Nintendo would really do themselves a favor when it comes to Mario Maker, and in this instance, it'd be one of those scenarios where it would be more about giving the community what they want and how to keep that game healthy for a very long time, right? They they would take some things out, they would patch some things out that, that were like strats in the first game. And I understand that they want to keep the spirit of Mario Brothers to be, similar, but I think there were things that were detrimental to to the second game that kind of bummed out the community a little bit. And that comes to like some shell jumps and some different things like that were like taken away that were in the first game. There were also some great additions in the second game, but I know it was also not quite as fun uh, uh, to create the stages without the stylus that we had on the Wii U and on the 3DS. So again, the mouse feature, I feel like they're really thinking ahead in that department. And I also want to see Mario Wonder incorporated into Mario Maker 3. Like really, really want to see Mario Wonder incorporated into it. So getting to the chats here, Matt Williams says, never had a DS, so the hopes to play those Zelda games excites me. Absolutely. Yeah, they are quite a bit of fun. I played all the way through Phantom Hourglass. Spirit Tracks, I started playing it, but I was like, I feel like I'm on a train in Zelda and it's taking away from the exploration factor in Zelda because I can only go where the tracks take me. It's like the epitome of linear at that point. So I kind of fell off on that one, but I played all the way through Phantom Hourglass and loved it. The Rally Fan says more functionality from the system. They also say, I know Mario Maker 2 would work for Switch 2, but that would be a big game to show off the mouse function if they gave it an update. I'm just not sure I'm not sure Nintendo, like, they seem to walk away from that game faster than they walked away from Animal Crossing. And it's just, it was kind of strange. Like they made multiplayer that never run well. They've never fixed the lag that's in that game. And it's such a bummer that it did not get more love and more support. And even looking at the menu, it looks like they had something else potentially planned that then never got released. So it's just kind of a bummer on that one. Um, and I'm hoping 3 is like it really, really excites the community, gets the community back together, and has a much longer tail than 2. So Cece says, I'm not sure if it's possible, but I hope the battery life is better and lasts longer as someone who plays handheld a lot of the time. Yeah, and so there's a few factors in that, right? We are looking at a bigger tablet, so that should be a bigger battery. Um, it does it it, it it's going to depend on this like DLSS and how much, like if that can be turned on or turned off, that might take up more of the juice. I think just because it's newer tech, everything should potentially last longer. And a lot of it does boil down to the games that we're playing, right? Like you can play like games on NSO and stuff like that, like old school games or indie games. Your Switch battery can last, quite some time, 6 hours, 8 hours, maybe even up to 10. But then you throw in like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, you're lucky to get like 3 hours. Like uh you're really lucky to get 3 hours out of that thing because it's just running so much more. So, I don't know enough about the tech, the DLSS and all that we're anticipating being a part of the system. It seems like there's a lot more that's going to be happening um, that would potentially free up battery life in my mind, but I don't know for sure if that will completely be the case. I do know that the the power output or whatever does change significantly. It is changed from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, and it also, when it's docked, apparently is going to be drawing a lot more power because I believe that's going to be when you're, potentially upscaling to 4K and all that kind of stuff. So it would uh, it would need that kind of power. But fingers crossed that battery life is something that should be improved over the last Switch. Really, really hope that is the case. So, Rally Fan says, I'm still curious about the C button. And, a lot of people are anticipating it's going to mean community. And going back to like talking about that the mouse feature and stuff, like, Nintendo did that play test, right? Where it put everybody into this like online world and whatnot. Like, I'm wondering if mouse features are going to be better in that kind of game or metaverse or whatever they end up calling it. And maybe that's another reason for mouse support. Um, Raleigh fan also says DLSS could be a system menu item with a special setting, including on off. Yeah, and I don't know if there'd be situations where you'd want to turn it off, unless it is like a big battery suck. Then maybe, but then what does that do? What is that going to do to your games? Like, are they going to look like Switch One games or worse if you don't have it on? And then is anybody going to want to play that way? There's so many questions when it comes to that as well. But yeah, so any other hopes and dreams you guys might have for this, feel free to put them in the chat. Like, you know, again, when it comes to Mario Kart, like, I want to see, like, I'm seeing so many people speculate about the possibility of pit stops, and maybe there's, like we've talked about before, where maybe it's like a Simpsons hit and run where you're picking up food items and delivering them. There's, like a whole story, like a single player campaign. I really want to see them lean heavy, heavy, heavy into the competitive side of things. We know that Nintendo is pushing to be in schools and to be part of the esports scene within schools. And I mean, my cousin was a coach for like Smash, and I think Pokemon might be in the mix, and I think Mario Kart as well. And so I'm like, I want to see a big focus on the competitive side of Mario Kart, almost like Smash, if you will, where it's like you you can play the game like competitively if you want, or you can play it like a party game. Like, I kind of want to see it evolve to that. Not that I want to see like items taken out like in Smash, but like maybe there's more, like maybe we get to the point in this game where there's a competitive item set. You know, maybe that's how maybe that's how the community shapes this game for the competitive scene. So Cece says, I would love a lot more customizations on characters in Mario Kart. I think it's happening. I think Mario Kart's going to have seasons, whether they're paid or free, and I think we're going to be unlocking customizations. In Splatoon, you had free seasons where you would unlock customizations for your locker, I believe, and I think we're going to see something similar with Mario Kart. Rally fan says it would be cool to see the next Mario Kart doing pit stops and Mario Wonder power ups. And again, there's just so many possibilities here, and I can't wait. I cannot wait, honestly, to see what we just need more information. Like this, I don't know about you guys, but the wait for April 2nd feels so much worse than even being a kid waiting for Christmas. And that was rough. That was always rough. So I'm just ready. I'm ready for more information. I'm ready to know what games we can expect at launch. I'm ready to know what this mouse support does. I'm ready to know what can we expect as far as in the graphics department. What are we going to see running? Xbox games like Forza, and if you guys saw my video about GTA 6, like GTA 5 was on Xbox 360, I believe. So there's really no reason that shouldn't be on Switch 2. Even the upgraded graphic version, I think, should run on Switch 2. So there's there is like it is such a fun time to be a Nintendo fan, to be able to chat about this stuff on the regular. And we got the 40th anniversary of Mario coming up. So what are our hopes and dreams when it comes to the Switch 2 and the 40th anniversary of Mario? And it's, again, the trying to figure out how Nintendo balances everything here, because you've got this massive install base of Switches. You have a small section of the community that did purchase them through the holiday season and maybe brand new to the system. You've also got a lot of us that are like, not everybody's going to be an early adopter. And so just to see how Nintendo does the launch and the way that they have said they're gonna do it different than what Sony did, and what that looks like exactly. Like, what it looks like. I can't I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they balance it all. Are we gonna see a special edition Switch for Mario Kart right out of the chute? The pricing, the power, all of it, all of it. There's so much to be excited for. I cannot wait. And you know, my biggest hope, it already happened. I just want Mario Kart. I want a new Mario Kart. We've been playing this one for so long. I'm ready. I am ready to race with you guys on new tracks with a new gimmick and uh to start grinding out a new Mario Kart game. It's been so long. It's been 84 years. It's been a long, long time. So, well, that is gonna do it for today's episode, you guys. I will see you Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for another episode of Nintendo News Daily. Thank you so much for hanging out in the live chat and for listening after the fact. You guys are the best. Have an amazing weekend. Let me know in the comments if you've made it this far. What are you planning on playing this weekend? And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.